Well, I have
My
to have the
computer.
microphone on my end because the audio for mine on Zoom doesn't record well, but my guests does. So, and you have the voice memo as a backup, you know.
Yeah.
Well, let me just say this. Madison McGaw, welcome to the Chelsea Skidmore Show.
Hello.
I am ambushing you.
You have ambushed me.
I ambushed you. Is that an eagle on your shirt?
It is a Harley Eagle.
We've got an
shirt.
eagle.
I got it today, so excited about
That's
this.
sick. Yeah, I saw your shirts on Instagram. Did you go shopping somewhere?
A friend of mine inherited a huge collection of Harley t-shirts. And
what does that even mean? I gotta unplug this.
Her granddad was a biker and collected to motorcycle festivals across the country for his whole life.
That's
and he would buy a t-shirt. Yeah.
I like that. How do you feel about the ambush podcast?
It's spontaneous. It's fun. Wasn't really doing anything.
Dude, you've lost so much weight.
Thank you. I'm as you say that, I'm sitting here realizing I have potato chip residue on my fingers and that my lips might be extremely red.
But it doesn't look like you're cheating.
But no, I'm definitely cheating.
Okay.
Does this candy bowl that's within an arm's reach of me make me?
How many candies do you unwrap a day? That's a Halloween bowl. You already got your trick or treat.
That's a TV bowl.
A TV bowl?
Yeah, that just lives in front of this TV.
Wait, is that your personal TV bowl?
No, just the house has a bowl. And
I've never had a house candy bowl, but I want to get
there. We got a candy stash here.
Did old people start that? The butterscotch bowl? The Andy's mint bowl?
My grandmother loved butterscotch. Did your grandmother love butterscotch? Here, take a butterscotch.
I think after you turn 70.
Listen, wear this.
After you turn 70, you get a butterscotch bowl from the AARP.
It's here's your social security check.
Yeah.
Have some butter.
Your butterscotch bowl.
Yeah.
Here's your life insurance policy and your butterscotch.
Yeah. So what's up with this ambush? What inspired?
I'm going to be honest with you because Madison is a close friend. I had a podcast scheduled and my guest forgot. And I don't want to make you feel bad by saying, oh, maybe Madison, but we've been talking about wanting to record and I've tried to ambush you recently. When my ring light is set up, I want to do an ambush. And I just was about to just shut it off. And then I was like, oh, maybe Madison will be down to do one. How do you feel about it?
I mean, that's fine. It's like talking on the phone.
Okay. Hi.
Except you're glowing on Zoom and
I'm glowing?
Yeah.
It's my ring light is providing shine.
Yeah. You could retouch that out later.
Really? Okay, so for those of you listeners who are wondering, hey, how does she know Madison so well? Madison and I grew up together. We are from Westchester, New York. We have been friends for a long time. I knew you starting in 5th grade, but I'd say we didn't become friends until 9th grade.
No, I think you were in 3rd grade.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's so crazy.
I was in 4th grade.
Wow.
John was in 5th grade.
Yeah, because you were in the same class as my brother, and I remember going to a balloon.
Dr. Marie Amoruso.
Yes, well, there was an event at our house or a party, and I remember meeting you because there was a balloon toss game, a water balloon toss game.
I'm flattered you remember that. I don't. But I do know your mother was the class mom.
Was she? Yeah, she was.
Yeah, Robin was our class mom. Do they still do that?
Yeah, of course. I was just about to go, I'm going to be a class mom, but then I didn't want to fully commit.
Yeah. No, that's a big commitment. You got to be like mom to everybody in a whole class of kids.
Yeah, I think that's for moms who are unemployed. Can we get into the fact that you grew up in a castle?
I did grow up in a house that resembled a castle.
You grew up in a castle.
There was a round tower on the front, yes.
What was that? Was that a watchtower?
No, I think it was architectural. The
Wait.
guy who built the house was like a preacher,
Oh,
Father Divine.
You know what's weird is that you grew up in a house that was a preacher, and then I lived next to the Church of Reverend Moon. So there was a lot of preaching where we grew up.
Yeah, Reverend Moon, the Moonies.
Yeah.
Do you follow up with what some of those folks are doing on Facebook?
The people from our class who were
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think I came across one of them, but like they just look like they're married.
Yeah.
I think they had arranged marriages.
I do too. I think they would have big arranged marriages at in Madison Square Garden.
Oh, really? Oh, like group ones? Like knock them all out in one day?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, like 300 people get married at once.
God.
And then the Rangers
That's not
the rest
I mean, that is a memorable day, but it isn't. You know?
No. Oh, would you do that? Well, I mean, you're married already.
And guess who married us?
Shout out to myself.
You married us. Wait, hold on. I want to let's talk about the castle, and we'll talk about the officiating, and then we'll talk about the chickens. How's that?
Okay, what do you want to talk about the castle?
So, you grew up in a castle. I remember the garden room.
Yeah.
Like, that's when you have so many rooms in your house, you just name a room the garden room. Like,
well, they were all named because we had an intercom.
Wait, what?
So we had an intercom system, so each room had like a phone you could page, and they were all these names were actually written on each phone.
Oh my god, I forgot about intercom.
Hit a button, get the phone in the garden room, and be like.
Did you ever do any like fun things with your intercom?
No fun stories come to mind. First, I would definitely in late middle school, early high school, use the intercom inappropriately to ask my housekeeper to make me bagel bites. And I would page the entire house, not one room. Maybe the kitchen, and if I didn't get a response, I would say, her name was Lily. I'd be like, Lily, can you put some bagel bites in the oven for me? Thank you. It's ridiculous to think about as an adult that it's a luxury that I had growing up, but and then there's an embarrassing story where in middle school, you may remember the evil Miss Fernald.
Yes, principal.
So my parents were having a foundation event, like for Irvington Educational Foundation. There was about 400 people from the town in the house. And I picked up the intercom and I was like, "You're in my house now, motherfucker."
No, you didn't.
I swear to God. And my mom got really pissed. She looked at me and goes, "You go to the carriage house." And she sent me to like another house. Yeah.
So what was the purpose of that carriage house? Because I know that
it was stupid. What?
Because I know it was like next to a giant field that we would party at, and I know that it was called the carriage house, but I never knew what it meant.
But a carriage house is just like a term when you have like a property for like a house that like the carriages would be stored in.
Because it's like a historical home.
Horse and buggies. Yeah, exactly.
Didn't someone live in there though?
Just like a state shit, I guess. What?
Just a state shit. Wait, didn't someone live in there?
No one lived there. We had a local police officer. We used half the garage to work on cars.
Okay.
He plowed it.
Yeah.
Got us out of ticket. Bob.
Yes. I remember that. Wait, you also had a lot of hiding rooms too.
Hiding rooms?
Well, I remember in the room with the pool table,
Oh
there
yeah,
was
there's like a secret area.
like a room in the wall that I remember going in.
Well, it was just you could walk behind the shower.
Yeah.
You went into a closet and then you could go behind this shower tub, and then you could even go around that into like this window.
Yeah, I
was-
had 2 hiding spots in my house too. I don't know if it's just like old houses, like the area we grew up in, like, but people were like hiding in the walls and shit. I know it was like meant for like hiding jewelry or something. I think I was told.
Really?
What?
Who hides jewelry in their house? Isn't that what a safe is
I
for?
think I said, what is this room for? And they were like, it's like where they used to hide jewelry, like back in the day, or like hide things, or like it was like a like in the back of like my closet, there was like a little door, and then you could crawl in it, and then you're in like this like secret room in the house.
I didn't know you had a secret room growing up.
Yeah, it was like
What'd your family do in your secret room?
huh?
What'd your family do in the secret room?
Well, I used to go in there and like just hide in there. When I got yelled at.
I'd be hiding in my secret room.
With Tom.
Yeah.
Tom is Chelsea's talented cat.
So you married us? How was
Yes,
your
Experience as an officiant.
It was. I was so nervous.
What'd you do to calm down?
What?
What'd you do to calm down?
Shit.
Huh?
I took a shit like right before. Like,
Yeah.
That's how nervous I was.
No, that happens all the time when you do stand up. Before you like do a show that you're nervous about, you have to shit. So now it's called performance shit.
Yeah. I took a performance shit and then I listened to Method Man Bring the Pain to get pumped up.
I love that. That's so funny.
Like 20 times in a row. It was it was fun. I mean, it was a beautiful moment. Like, you're one of my best friends, you're like a sister to me, and I was like happy to be part of that. And
That was a fun wedding.
it was so fun.
I had always wanted to do the chair thing, so I was like happy I finally. What's it called?
The Haftorah,
Yeah.
I think.
Like whenever.
Putting me on the spot publicly, I'm a bad Jew.
What was your bar mitzvah theme?
Street signs.
Street signs.
Yeah, so my table was Madison Avenue. And everyone else got like a famous street.
Is that
Like,
because we're a fan of New York City or Monopoly?
that was because my name's Madison and I wanted a table named Madison Avenue. I don't remember. I was 12, 13 years old.
Isn't it funny that we're both named after different parts of New York City?
There's no neighborhood called Madison. I just have a
There's
street.
a big street. Or should I say
You got a whole neighborhood though. You got Chelsea. Like, that's like 14th Street to like 23rd Street, 28th Street, 8th Avenue, 9th Avenue, like to 6th Avenue.
Madison runs how far down?
Madison goes from 23rd Street to 138th Street.
I think Madison outdoes Chelsea.
But it's only that'd be an interesting. What has more square footage?
Probably
All right.
because the blocks are longer, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Chelsea probably would. I'm gonna get more. Am I allowed to get comfortable? Can I put my feet up?
Yeah. No, you can't. The number one rule of broadcasting is you can't put your feet up.
I definitely have no shoes on.
So you've had such a big life transition from losing a ton of weight to moving out of New York City to Maryland. Why don't you walk the listeners through? I want to hear about your weight loss, and because you were and you still are, but like you were so full of like motivational stuff and like determination and hard work.
I think I just changed what I learned for the weight loss to deal with, you know, the loss of a career and like well, I wouldn't say loss, but the changing of like my career being shut down. And I think I used the toughness that I built up mentally to shift into the farming business. But yeah, I mean, listen, it's just you have to push yourself in anything. So for stand up, you push yourself mentally to improve and learn how to, you know, not be hard on yourself. And it's the same thing, you know, you got to just commit.
So who was the guy again that you were, I forgot his name.
Oh, David Goggins. I read his book.
So
that was pretty good.
every guy is obsessed with him. What's like some of the takeaways you got from him?
He's a badass. I mean, that guy is just like, what were you saying? What are some
of the takeaways you got from him?
I mean, if you don't want to be a pussy, you could do whatever you put your mind to.
Yeah.
I mean, we have high limitations and we just set low mental limits.
Ooh, like bring up your mental limits to meet your limitations?
Yeah. Like, you know, physically you could do probably 3, 4, 5 times more than you've ever tried. But you just don't try.
Like your body can do so much more than you think.
Yeah, I mean, even here, like, I mean, half the shit I do, I 6 months ago, I would have been utterly disgusted by.
Disgusted by?
Yeah.
Like what?
Like running in mud or, you know, picking up a dead animal.
Ew. Okay, so we got to explain this transition.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, sometimes a possum kills a chicken.
Really?
Yeah.
So
well, my chickens live outside, like, naturally. So, like, you know, there's dogs that protect them, but they don't always, you know, they're not always so fortunate.
So you were a photographer in New York City for how long?
10 years? Technically, professionally, 10 years.
Yeah, and you were doing events, editing, traveling all over, working for one of the best agencies. Very fast life. And then COVID hit, and what was the change that you made?
I just left. I came to Maryland and I started farming chickens.
I love that.
For me,
like a
chickens,
tough decision.
Chickens
How did you get into farming chickens of all things? Like, I know who you live with, you know, has done some farming in the past with like shrimp and stuff. Like, where did the chicken concept come from?
Well, before I even got here, Oliver ordered 200 chickens.
Why?
You know, this was the point in COVID where everybody was like buying all the toilet paper and Lysol and supplies, and, you know, it's a pretty smart decision to have, you know, animals.
Mm-hmm. Panic buying.
Yeah, if it was the end of the world, like, we'd be good.
You didn't just panic buy toilet paper. You panic bought 200 chickens live.
I bought a lot more than 200 chickens, Chelsea.
How many chickens have you bought at this point?
I've raised over 1,000 chickens at this point.
Cluck cluck?
Yeah.
You've raised over 1,000 chickens?
Yeah, probably about 1,200.
So how did you learn how to do that? Like, is it like Chickens for Dummies? Like, did you read about, like, I'm sure you learn as you go. I mean, that's such a different lifestyle change.
Yeah, YouTube. Oliver had a lot of knowledge. I picked his brain. I mean, I'm telling you, like, the first 200 chickens that got here when I was first here in March, like 2 weeks after I got here, there was a tub in the garage full of chickens, and I was afraid to touch them. I thought they were gonna, like, break my skin. I wouldn't pick them up. Now, I'm definitely not afraid of them.
I wouldn't say you're like a prissy person, but like I truly like never would have expected you to like be farming chickens.
Yeah, they go from the fashion industry to like be raising chickens for meat.
Yeah,
Not so different.
it's not.
Um, I mean, I use things I learned as a photographer every day to think critically and, creatively solve problems.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, there's a lot of good information out there. Joel Salenson is the man. He's
so,
been on Joe Rogan a couple times.
uh-huh. He's a farmer.
Yeah, he's like, for permaculture, he's like the guy.
So
Are you aware what permaculture is?
COVID hits and Oliver says, I'm ordering 200 chickens. Do you want to come over? Like, what's that conversation?
No, it wasn't quite like that. It was more like that week was crazy in New York. Oh man, so I was so anxious. I had the week I left. It's crazy. I could remember it like it's yesterday. That Monday, I shot a friend's wedding at the courthouse, and it was really like no one's wearing masks yet, but like it was kind of out there. People were discussing it. At the lunch afterwards, my friend's father's was Letterman's doctor, and like Letterman came and like he wouldn't shake anyone's hand. He made the COVID reference that week, and then the next day, I had a big corporate job, and it was just like people were coughing, everyone's looking around.
Mhm.
And every day that week, Oliver and I were just kind of chatting about the politics. And, every other person I know had already left Manhattan at that point. And
When was that?
yeah, I left on March 13th.
Oh, so that's really early on still. I mean, like, compared, that's like
Well, there
when
were
everything.
cases in New York at that point.
Wait, what?
There were already several cases in New York at that point.
I'm surprised that everyone was already leaving so soon up there.
Oh, yeah. Half the people I knew were already gone.
Where'd they go?
Hamptons,
Yeah.
Florida, like, places.
Steven's opening the door with Jagger right now. I'm Zooming with Madison.
Oh, I thought you were doing a podcast.
I am doing one right now in Madison.
Impromptu.
Steven's gonna pop over.
She had a no-show, so I'm the constellation.
What's up?
Hello.
Script. I'm gonna take a piss and then
How
start.
good is that show, by the way?
What?
Cobra Kai?
Cobra Kai? We.
Cobra Kai.
I got to still writing.
Oh, okay.
I photographed Ralph Macchio 2 summers ago in Montauk. I was so excited to meet him.
Nice guy.
He was incredibly nice.
I
was super nervous. It was like one of 3 times I ever got nervous.
Really?
He's the Karate Kid, Chelsea. You don't get it. He's the Karate Kid.
Who were the other 2 people who made
That was my movie growing up.
Me too.
Danielson.
Wait, remember our movie was also 3 Ninjas?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
loved that. Rocky loves Emily. Rocky loves Emily.
Rocky loves Emily. Wait, who were the other 2 people who made you nervous to photograph?
I got nervous. Well, not to photograph. The photographs came out fine. I got nervous with Gucci Man.
Okay.
Just because like that was super exciting, And then I don't know, who else made me nervous?
Some model.
No.
Who was cool? Like surprisingly really cool.
Katy Perry.
Yeah.
She was pretty cool. I don't know. Everybody's the same.
Wait, so how did you end up on
I'd say more celebrities are surprisingly disappointing than surprisingly cool.
Yeah,
And they're
totally. I agree. It's like don't meet your heroes kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it was really fun the first couple of years, and then after a while, you just kind of.
You don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they all of these things kind of blend together as one experience. But I'm grateful I lived life while there was lives to live.
Yeah. Totally. So
like we got the best of New York, like when we grew up.
It was so much fun. I mean, we just like the days of just going out to clubs and what,
Yeah,
16
when
to
Beatrice Inn wasn't a
26 for
restaurant.
me. Huh?
When the Beatrice Inn wasn't just a restaurant.
Beatrice was, Beatrice, when I look back on my club life, I'd say Beatrice is obviously like my number one spot. I mean, it was such an incredible time there. Anything goes. It was like very small, very exclusive. You just walk into the back and it's everyone's doing coke and hanging out and everything's out in the open and fun. Like it was our Studio 54.
Well, it was your Studio 54.
What about yours?
I don't know if I have one spot like that, like over the years.
Really?
I mean, I guess. No, yeah. I mean,
I
I'd
used
always
to go there by
always-
myself all the time.
I know you did. You lived it. That's why I was joking. It was your Studio 54. Like when you lived in New York, you lived at the Beatrice. We'd always like text or call in the morning and you'd be like, I'm too hungover. I'm ordering cheeseburgers. And I was at the Beatrice until 4 a.m. and then at this guy's house until 9.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a cheeseburger and go back there because this conversation probably took place at 6 p.m.
I went out every single night. Every single
I don't
night.
remember.
The days with you, me, and Moises.
You ever speak to him?
Stereo? No, I don't. No. Do you?
I haven't in like a year or two.
Yeah.
But like occasionally I would run into him in the city.
Yeah. So tell us a little more about
Stereo, you remember Stereo?
Wait, what?
I remember Stereo. That was fun.
Yeah. Tell me about the chicken life.
What do you want to know? Ask a question and I'll
So like
answer.
what's the day-to-day like?
Well, it depends on what's happening, but you know, I mean, chickens, you know, if you do it right, it's not like an immense amount of, you know, chores. It's just feeding everybody, making sure that they have food and water. And
But when does the day start to take care of a chicken? Like you have to wake up and give them breakfast at like 6 a.m. Like, you know,
no,
I feel like everyone always like when they think of a chicken in the morning, you think of that typical alarm clock of a rooster going off at like
yeah, no. I mean, the roosters definitely go off in the morning, but as long as they have food, they're fine.
Do you have roosters?
A couple.
What are roosters?
I had a lot more like a week ago, and I took them to the processor because they were aggressive.
Wait, what are roosters?
Males.
Males, okay. And females are just chickens?
They're all chicken, and females are hens.
Oh.
Chickens.
And do they actually go cock-a-doodle-doo?
Yeah. Yeah. The roosters actually, it's a little bit more intense than that, and I'm not going to do it for you.
Please.
No, I can't. There's a sleeping child in the house at the moment, so
You don't have to shout it. A soft cock.
you can't. I have to shout it. I can't. There's
I'm gonna get so mad if you
don't.
don't.
I do such a good chicken crow. I can't do it right now. It's so loud. There's
Why
no
does that
like.
be so loud? Just do a quiet cockle-doodle-doo. Cock-a-doodle-doo. That's it. Just like that.
Cock-a-doodle-doo. Happy?
No, that was a human doing it.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Do they make noises a lot? Like they're talking to each other?
Yeah. The noises change based off age. Like when they're little, there's just like chirp, 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 chirp.
Oh.
And then as they become mature, it's bark, 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 bark.
And they're just like walking. And
They're always foraging and hunting. Like they eat bugs and like plants and stuff like that.
that's so funny.
That's where the term they range. So that's where the term free range comes from, because they're ranging for food.
Oh.
Which is like the biggest honk of bullshit, because it's like, you know, a little 5-foot area that the chickens don't actually go into. But, you know,
That's interesting.
Chickens are just eating all day long, little bugs. And
What's like the grossest thing you've discovered while tending to these chickies?
Really the grossest thing I've had to do
Yeah.
is like probably shovel chicken shit,
How big is it?
or like dealing with dead chicks is really not fun.
Wait, what is shoveling chicken shit like? Like, how much shit is there? What does
A
their
lot.
shit look like? Is it like pebbles?
Chickens have 3 types of shits.
Go on.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
No, what are they?
No, like one's like kind of like pebble like, one's like straight like human duty like, and then the
No.
other's straight liquid.
Wait, they take human looking shit sometimes?
They're not like, they're miniature, they're like this big, they're like little, like the, no bigger than half of a pinky finger, but yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on how hydrated they are.
If you touch it and it breaks, it smells exactly like human duty.
Wow.
So I've had a chick shit on my shoulder where it smells like as bad as a human. I hope so.
Right? If a bird shits on you?
Yeah.
That's good though.
I don't think a chicken is in that category, but yeah.
Has a chicken ever chased after you and was angry at you and you were like a little scared?
No, but I've chased a chicken. Well, because like the roosters, they get aggressive with the hens, and I don't like that. So I try to like run after the roosters if I notice it when I'm there.
Did they?
Probably not advised.
What time?
Max, who's been helping me out, he's like surprised that I've not gotten attacked by a rooster yet. But
who has people who have gotten attacked by a rooster?
Yeah, they could be very aggressive.
What kind of injuries?
They could poke your eyes out.
No, they can't.
I heard that they once grabbed someone's tongue and ripped it right out of their mouth.
No, you didn't.
I'm fucking with you.
Okay.
No, they're not that aggressive. They're just like second.
I don't think I want to be around one.
Chickens are sweet.
Have you tried the meat yet?
Yeah, tons. It's delicious.
It's delicious?
Yeah.
Do you feel guilty at all eating it?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, these chickens lived a better life than any meat I've ever eaten.
Are there any other facts?
That's not necessarily true, but most meat that you would consume live like the most terrible existence. They have like a chicken that you would buy in the store generally has about 1 square foot of space in a huge house with few 100,000 chickens, and they're basically whoever's doing that is praying that they get respiratory diseases and sick and die, and it's a terrible. Industrial farming is a terrible world.
Yeah.
Most people turn their blind eye to it in this country.
What's your
like paying? What?
What's your setup?
What's my what?
Setup like?
My chickens live outside and have lots of space.
And is this in Oliver's backyard?
No, this is on our friend's farm. We started it in his backyard and expanded, so now we have 2 chicken paddocks on this woodland pig farm.
What's the difference between a paddock and a coop?
A paddock is just like a term for a fenced-in area for animals. I believe. I've never actually looked up the definition. Shall we Google it?
Yeah.
A coop is just like a house.
Oh.
Like a paddock is the technical definition is a small enclosure for horses.
Paddock.
I think it's
Chicky.
So how's the cooking show going? Can I ask you questions? Is that allowed?
Yeah. Ask me questions. It's going good. I haven't made another cooking video since my miso pasta one, just because like it's like a whole thing. Like I have to ask Steven to film me, and I have to think of like what's something easy I can make. But I'm gonna make another one soon. But it's fun. I'm obsessed with these sausages by this company, Make It Italian, that I get from Whole Foods, and I like.
Wait, joke. You'd
What?
think Steven would be happy to film you first person.
Well, yeah, but it's like a whole thing. I'm like, hey, can you film me? And it's like, ugh, you know.
But if you just change the context around that much, he'd be all about it.
Wait, what?
Are you missing my references here?
Just tell me what you're talking about.
Porn joke. It was a bad porn joke.
I don't get the point. We were talking about cooking.
You know, I'm not the comedian. I'm bad. I was trying to be funny. No shame in calling myself out and accepting defeat.
It went over my chicken gullet. I couldn't think of what their heads are called.
Heads? A chicken's head is called a head.
But yeah, I'm gonna make another one soon. Next question.
How is your writing coming along? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's coming along good. Since I got my surgery, I tried to write like a little story on my appendix stuff, but I only did like half of it. But yeah, I'm getting notes back on like a script right now, and then I'm gonna rewrite it and send it off. So that's basically like, you know, what's going on, and then I'm gonna look for a new idea to start. So I'm finishing something up, and then it's like there's so much waiting. It's like I do all my work, and then I literally just have to wait for other people. And you know, it's hard to be patient, but it's just like the game. You know, I didn't realize how much waiting it is. What?
You've gotten a lot better at it.
Yeah. Well, I just keep yourself busy with other things, you know, while I'm waiting, which is all.
And how many emails a week do you send your manager when you're waiting?
I've gotten better about it. I used to check in like once a week and be like, any word, but then I was like, she'll let me know, you know, like she'll let me know when she hears something.
That makes me happy.
But I don't send more than like one email a week, or sometimes I just don't send one at all.
You've grown so much, Chelsea.
I know. I used to be like,
hello. What about comedy? Do you miss being around live comedy every day?
You know, I don't. I honestly don't. I feel like it's like such a grind, and you don't realize how much of a grind it is until you stop. And you know, a friend of mine is doing like an outdoor show that's like weekly, and they've offered me a couple of spots, and I'm like, ugh, like it feels like work, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna do it in a couple. You were ready for a break. Huh?
You were ready for a break.
Yeah, I have 2 shows I'm doing in October. One's a Zoom show, and one's like an in-person show, and I really needed the break, and it's really nice to have it, and I'm really not like missing it at all, and I'm ready for it to be a slow transition back, and I'm just enjoying being more introverted. Like, yes, I'm doing the podcast, but just the prep for stand-up and doing it like is something I'm just like not super missing.
Yeah. I mean, I can relate to that because I think I was ready for a break from the hustle and bustle.
That's what it is. It's like anything that feels like a grind and a hustle to me, like it's just, you don't realize how hard you're going until everything stops. And then you're like, damn, I needed a break. But when you're like trying to keep up with everyone else and you're continuously doing it, you don't quite realize how much of a break you need.
And I think, you know, our generation, we're all after this like quick gratification constantly. So yeah, it's just like you need to be hitting these bullet points in your life or you're a failure. And I mean, obviously that's such a wrong way to go about things, but
Totally. And for me, not getting sober until 26, I constantly was comparing myself to other people that we grew up with by just noticing, oh, I'm not in my career quite yet. I wasted so much of my life. So it's that feeling like I'm constantly catching up to something, which is such a false thing, but it's definitely in there. I feel like I'm constantly catching up to something I'm late for.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what social media does to our generation in general. We just compare ourselves.
I feel so bad for children just being born into this world of social media. I don't have kids yet, but when I do have them, I can't imagine them giving them a phone at a young age. I didn't get a phone until I was 15. And, before that, friends of mine had pagers, but I never had a pager. But what?
Will you make an Instagram account for them when they are born? Because people do that sometimes, and I'd love your opinion on it.
I don't think so.
Because you made one for Jaggy.
I don't post on it that much anymore.
No, I know, but would you do,
I think I'll probably just keep it on my page.
So Chelsea Jr. will not have her own. Do you have your kids' names picked out?
Yeah.
Can I ask what they are?
Well, for girl, we want Bella. And that's the number one girl name. For guys, Steven really wants to name him Stephen the Third, but I don't want to at all. We stop at Stephen the Second. We don't need a third. I don't need another Stephen in the house. We've got two. It's great. Love your dad. Love you. But that's enough. Let's be creative. The second and the third thing to me is this is not bashing his family, or I just feel let's be a little more creative.
I feel.
Yeah. I said, how would you like it if our daughter was Chelsea the Second? It's egotistical.
It is.
Yeah. So for boys.
What if you named your dog Steven?
No.
You would never.
No, I like the name Jagger. That would have been a cool boy's name too.
Yeah, but I get it. I mean,
I like the name Leonardo too for boys, but I'm not 100% sold on it. I have a list. I also really like the name Gia for girls, or Mia, or those kind of names are cute. Oh, here we are. Oh wait, that's not it. Do you like anything?
Have you considered Madison?
No. Oh, I like boys. I like Declan, Dallas, Luca, Leonardo, and Gianni. And girls, I like Bella, Mia, Gia, Bianca, and Gianna.
Dallas?
Dallas?
Yeah. Why are you trying to have a wrestler?
Why, is it a wrestler named Dallas?
Diamond Dallas Page.
That just sounds like a stripper. That sounds like a stripper's name.
It sounds like a guy who might be doing security at a strip club. Who didn't make it as a wrestler.
Yeah, I mostly like Italian names. One of my friends, she's like, you can't take Leonardo. It's you're not even married. You don't even have a boyfriend. I'm definitely having a kid before you.
Yeah. Also, are your kids growing up at the same school at the same time? Why does she get to tell you?
I don't see her having a kid for a long time. Or
she called it so no one else gets to use that name.
She was so angry. I was like, I'm not now.
You're like, why don't one of us get pregnant and then we have this conversation?
Yeah, I know. But
or why don't I never have this conversation with you again?
Totally. But going back to the cell phone thing, don't you think it's crazy how young kids today have iPads and cell phones who are in elementary school? Does that bother you?
I mean, it's weird. I wouldn't want my child to have that.
It bothers me.
They're drawn to it. Kids are naturally drawn to the screen.
I don't like it.
Because they what's going to happen is they're going to see you sitting there like this. and they're going to know this takes your attention, and they're going to be curious why you're looking at that.
That makes sense.
So then they'll see it and they'll want to look at it. And then the first thing that they figure out, because they can't unlock the phone, is they swipe and then they see themselves.
Yeah. Well, anyways.
I think it's cool that kids are learning to take pictures at such an early point in life.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's one plus. I mean, you got to always like look for the positive.
That's true.
Be overwhelmed with negative.
And that's the message for today.
Yes. On this on the spot podcast episode.
I know. And with that, Madison,
it's done.
It's done.
Did I do that badly?
No, I told Steven I was going to go to the market at 5 o'clock, and it's 5:08 because he has to use my car. And now I'm getting worried I'm not going to be back in time. I'm thinking about Huh?
Let's leave viewers with what you're cooking for dinner tonight.
I don't know what I'm going to cook yet. I was planning on just like getting a lot of vegetables.
Well, why don't you challenge yourself to impress me and the rest of your listeners, and you could share what you've made after going to the store.
What do you mean?
Like, improvise a great dinner and share about it.
Okay.
Cool. You're like, cool story, bro.
Thank you so much for jumping on this random ambush pod.
I hope I wasn't too terrible.
No, you were great. Shout out your social media so we can check out your life.
At McGawsome and the chicken chicken.guru.
I love it. Thank you so much, Madison, for coming on the Chelsea Skidmore show.
Peace.